Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Deborah. I'm from Barefoot Bites, and today I'm coming back at you with another grocery haul. A little background if you're new to this channel. We are a family of 5. I have 2 toddlers and 1 baby, and my husband is the sole earner for our home. I recently left my corporate job in May, so now we are challenged every single week on budgeting just so that we don't get our spending out of hand. Last week we did not go grocery shopping, and spending went out of control. And one of the biggest things I will talk about now in this video is what happens when you don't do your normal routine of grocery shopping, and then you run up your grocery bill, and then you're left the following week when you do go to the grocery store with a smaller budget. And that's kind of what happened to us this week. So this week I was on a strict budget of not to go over 150 and even to keep it below that, because we spent a lot last week. We were running to the grocery store just to pick up little things, and y'all know all those little purchases add up, and it can definitely affect your budget. And that's what happened to us this week. It affected our budget, and so we had a lot smaller budget this week to work with. And so what I tried to do when I was going through the grocery store this week was to be mindful of that and to get what we needed. And since we're challenged with keeping our grocery budget pretty tight, I will let you know in the end whether or not I was able to stick below that 150 budget, or if I had to go a little bit over, because again, we have to shop for food. All right, let's get started. This week I picked up, we could not get apple juice for the kids. They love this. We just give them a cup of apple juice a day, and they just love to start their morning with that. And so we picked up 2 because these tend to go quick with 3 little toddlers. I also picked up some coffee for my husband. He loves his cold brew coffee, and so I get this for him just to get him through his day. And so we always have to keep stocked up on that. And we actually don't go through this quickly. This can last us about maybe a good week and a half in the fridge, so we always have to have this on hand. Now, this is my first time picking up some chicken broth. I got the organic free-range chicken broth. I don't normally pick this up, but I am now starting to go on a new diet, and I'm planning to make a lot more soups. I typically, when I'm cooking, I will keep scraps of my onions, peppers, or any type of vegetable scraps, and then put them in my freezer and make a big chicken stock. Use any scraps just to kind of beef up that flavor. But I picked this up just as a supplement. I picked up my favorite yogurt, but this actually isn't my favorite type. This one, they only had the Greek. I usually just get the regular yogurt, but they only had Greek this week. I'm not a huge Greek yogurt fan. The texture is really thick for my preference, but it's fine. I'll still eat it. I picked this up for the baby. She loves these, and I talk about this all the time on my other grocery haul, how she loves this snack pack. It's freeze-dried strawberries, and they have 6 individual pouches within this kind of family pack. And these are great for when you're on the go, and it's so sweet. It tastes so good. Freeze-dried anything tastes good. So I love having these on hand for her. I also picked this up. If you're familiar with my other grocery hauls, we always get this. She goes through these pretty quickly. It's a variety pack for the squeezable pouches. There's 6 unsweetened apple. There's 3 apple strawberries and 3 apple bananas, and she loves to get these. For the toddlers, for their backpacks, for their snack, they go to a morning preschool program. They love to have these as little sweet treats, so we get these fruit-flavored snacks. I always get the organic ones, just my favorite. The ingredients are pretty clean, and they love these. I also picked up some whole milk. This half-gallon of milk will last us probably for a couple of weeks, because we don't tend to drink a lot of milk in my house. Some of my kids have allergies, so we don't really drink a lot of this at home. So this will last us. It'll be great for when I'm making mac and cheese or anything like that. This will be great for these. I picked up my favorite thing at Aldi's is their marinara sauce. I love it. You have to get the organic ones. I don't make the rules. The other ones just aren't my favorite. The flavor isn't all that great, the non-organic ones that they have, and it's actually not that bad of a price. It's cheaper than what you would get with Rouse. This was $1.95 for a bottle, so I picked up 2 of them just to make sure we do not run out this week. It just tastes so good. I always make sure to pick up a couple of those when I go there. I picked up my favorite. This is unsweetened applesauce. I always get this for myself as a snack if I'm not trying to eat unhealthy foods, I'll just get this and I'll put some granola on top and some other fruit, and it just tastes so good. I got some sour cream. Now, sour cream is not something that I always pick up, but for the last grocery haul I did, I got some sour cream, and it was so good. I have not been buying this regularly. It's so good with chili, and it's so good as, like, if you make a quesadilla or anything like that. This is such a great thing to have on hand, and I'm so glad we picked it up this week. I picked up some string cheese. This is something that goes in my preschooler's backpack. She loves to have some string cheese. It's a great little snack for her to have in her backpack, and so we were running low, and I think we only had like 2 left. These tend to last us a couple of weeks because she doesn't eat a lot. She just has them once a day at her preschool program, so these tend to last us a bit. I picked up some breadcrumbs. I love having this on hand. I tend to make a lot of meatballs when I'm cooking for the week to batch cook those, and this is such a great binder. I make sourdough bread, and one thing that I do is if we are not going through that loaf of bread and I can see that we're not going to go through it, I will put it in the freezer, and when I need it, I'll take it out, let it defrost, chop it up, throw it in the oven with some oil, and then boom, you have some toasted croutons, and then I put it in the food processor, and then there you have some breadcrumbs, and it tastes so, so good. I use that in my meatballs, and it just makes it so, so delicious. You guys know me. I always pick this up when we go to the grocery store. It is my favorite. It's their yellow corn tortilla chips. It has to be organic. Again, I don't make the rules. These just taste the best. I've had some of you guys comment on my other grocery haul saying that you ended up picking these up and it was so good. Trust me, if you get this at Aldi's, you'll never go back to any other ones. They're so, so good. So this week, again, I was trying to, because we had such a strict budget this week, I did limit buying snacks. So we still had some left over from last week, but usually if my budget was a lot bigger, I would have picked up some other ones just to make sure we do not run out at all. But this week, I was trying to focus, and I kept it at the forefront of my mind that I wanted to focus on just getting more whole foods and less snacks. So I picked up some pretzels. These I think are pretty good for like the kids to have as snacks. I notice a lot of snacks like I usually get. So I was trying to get the most basic type of snacks that aren't super bad for you and that the kids can have in their lunchbox or if they need a snack. So we got some pretzels, which is a good little snack for them to have. I'll usually pair this with some apples or any other fruit that we have on hand, and the kids love that. Now, I mentioned that I did not get a lot of snacks, but I did get my husband some kettle chips. I know he loves to have these as a little snack in his office, so I picked this up for him. I also picked up my son's favorite, which is these Danimal smoothies. Usually I'll pick up 3 when I go to the grocery store. This time I didn't. I mentioned earlier that we were going to the grocery store and just picking up little by little, so we did pick up some yogurt for him the other day. So we still have some left over from the last time we picked it up, so I only grabbed 2 and this should last us for the rest of the week. Picked up some cane sugar. I've started to stop buying white granulated sugar. It's not always the best for you, so I just decided to stop buying it. So I just get the cane sugar, and this is the organic cane sugar that they have at Aldi's, and I really, really like it. I picked up butter. We were running low last week. I was doing a batch cook day, so I did make some banana bread, and we use a lot of our butter in that, doing a double batch, so I need to restock on that. Again, I like this. It's not the organic ones that they have at Aldi's. The organic one's a little bit pricey. It's like $5.75, and again, I have a smaller budget this week, so this was $3 and something cents, I can't remember. But again, the ingredients are pretty good. It just has pasteurized cream and salt, and that's it. Nothing else yucky in there. So I think it's fine to get for us. If you like organic, get organic, but for us, this works perfectly fine. And so we also picked up this week some cheese. I picked up mild cheddar, and I also picked up some taco style. Again, we always have cheese on hand, whether it's for a salad or if I'm making the kids mac and cheese or any type of pasta. I always like to have a lot of cheese on hand. And this week I picked up some vegan cheddar shreds. Again, I've mentioned that in my other videos that my baby has dairy allergy. So I've actually bought these this is the Earth Grown Vegan brand at Aldi's, and I bought this before many times, and I actually really, really like it. When I was nursing her and I couldn't have dairy, I would use these all the time, and it melts pretty well, and so I like to pick these up for her when I'm making her special pasta, so she doesn't feel left out. I'll put some cheese on hers, and she loves it. It tastes pretty good too. Now, as I'm moving into the meat and vegetable portion of this grocery haul, I mentioned that this week, because I knew that we were working with a smaller budget, I was trying to do a different type of strategy as I shopped. And one thing I did when I was trying to go shopping, I thought of getting more, again, whole foods, more produce, because I did last week. If you watch my previous grocery haul, I'll link it in the description and in the cards. I also picked up a lot of canned goods and dry goods, so I know that I have those on hand, so I didn't need to pick those up. So I kind of focused a lot on getting a lot more vegetables this time around, or produce and fruit, and I limited getting, again, junk food, and I actually did not need to get a lot of meat this time. So this week I only picked up one package of the family size ground turkey. You guys know I always pick this up every time I go grocery shopping. I make a lot of batch cook, like if I'm making chili, if I'm making meatballs, if I'm just making ground turkey just to keep it in the fridge. I always like to have a lot of my meat like not frozen in the fridge, so I know when it's time to cook, I'll have something on hand, or I'll pre-cook them and just have them in the fridge. And when I'm in a rush and trying to get dinner quickly on the table, I'll just grab it out, and all I have to do is make some sides. And then I picked up another package of their organic ground beef. Again, you guys know from my previous grocery hauls, I like to pick up at least one or two of these every single week because they've been on such good price. They're $4.99 for one pack. And another thing I want to mention, if you're on your way to Aldi's, I noticed that they have organic ground lamb. I didn't grab it because it was a little bit pricey. I think it was about $5.99 for one package, but that's something new that I saw there, and I'm just thinking, I actually called my mother on my way home. I was like, you need to get to Aldi's. My mom loves lamb. I'm like, they have organic ground lamb there, and it's a pretty decent price. You should go run and get there. So if you haven't seen it at Aldi yet, or if you do love lamb, head over there and grab it. It's a new product I believe that they have. I picked up some hot dogs for my kids. They actually love to have these sometimes for lunch, and we didn't have any hot dogs. I don't think we've bought this in a couple of weeks, and so I picked up one packet, again, on a limited budget. Typically I'd get two, but again, we'll be fine. And again, hot dogs are not always the greatest thing to get, but I feel okay with getting this because it has no nitrates and no artificial preservatives or colors or fillers, so it's decent. Picked up some beef smoked sausage. We like to have these on hand if we're making veggie saute. I'll cut these up and it'll just be like such a quick little dinner to have. I also picked up bacon. some bacon. We always like to have some bacon on hand. My daughter loves to have it for her breakfast. So we had these on hand, and we'll probably go through this again throughout the week. I picked up some peppers. We always get peppers pretty much every grocery haul unless we have a surplus and we don't go through it a lot. But I love to have peppers on hand. Again, it goes great with like a quick veggie saute, chopping it up and putting it in eggs, or putting it in meatballs or anything like pastas. I love to have some peppers on hand, so I always grab a 3-pack. Ooh. I always pick up, as you guys know, avocados every time I go to the grocery store, and I picked up 6 this time because they were on sale for 75 cents. I think they've been lingering around 85 cents for the past few times that I've gone to Aldi's, and this time they were on sale for 75 cents. I picked up 6. I should have picked up more. I've told you guys my hack in my other grocery haul videos. Whenever I get avocados and they're on sale, I always pick up a bunch of them, make sure they're hard to the touch, and I'll store them in my fridge, and they last a long time. Like, putting them in the fridge stops that ripening process, and when you're ready to eat them, you just put it out on your counter, or you can put it in a bowl of apples and help it ripen up quicker. But if you find them on sale, grab a bunch of them and put them in your fridge, and they will stop ripening, and when you're ready to use them, just put them out, and it's just like you just picked up fresh new avocados. That is a great tip to have when you're buying produce. I picked up some acorn squash. Now, I actually really wanted to pick up butternut squash, but they did not have that at Aldi's because I wanted to make, again, I told you this week I plan to make a bunch of soups for myself to eat, but they didn't have it, so I'm going to try some acorn squash and see how that turns out. I've never bought this before. I've had acorn squash before, but I've never cooked with it myself. It'll be interesting to see what I make with it. I picked up some mushrooms or stew or anything like that. I like to have mushrooms. I picked up some strawberries. We always pick this up. This is something that my kids love to have for breakfast or a snack bag for preschool. I always get some strawberries. I picked up some garlic. Y'all know I always have to have garlic and onions. I actually ran low on garlic this week, which was shocking because I didn't actually pick it up last week because I thought I had a lot in abundance. So I picked up a sleeve. Normally I would have probably picked up 2, but again, we're on a smaller budget this week, so I'm trying to keep it nice and tight. I got some bananas. I have actually been on a banana bread binge, but since I'm trying to limit my sweets and trying to eat better, I picked these up and I'm going to eat them in my parfaits when I make them for breakfast. I picked up some blueberries. Again, this is so good with parfaits or in the morning with my kids when they like to have granola or any, like if I pack it in my son's bag for his preschool snack, he loves it, he'll eat it. They've been actually so sweet. Again, I'm not a huge blueberry lover, but when I've been picking them up at Aldi's, they've been so sweet and so good, and it's just like such a great flavor to add to my parfaits. I picked up some raspberries. This is not something I actually pick up quite often, but my baby has been like eating. Y'all know I always get my Honeycrisp apples every time I go to the grocery store. We are already out from the ones that we've had for the past week. Again, last week when we were just picking up little things at the grocery store, the kids ate that whole bag as well. And again, we go through apples so quickly around here. We'll eat them as like a snack. Well, again, when they come back from preschool, they're asking for a snack. I just give them I cut up some apples, give them that with some pretzels or a different, like another pair with another snack. And we will go through this so quickly. He's like crazy. So I picked up some raspberries for her to have as a snack or in the mornings for breakfast. Another thing I picked up was some spinach. Now, we always pick this up every single week, and spinach is what I use for like salads. We'll put it in our soups. It's such a versatile thing to have in your fridge, and I love to keep this on hand. All right, guys, so that is all for the grocery haul for today. Now, did we stay in budget? Let's see, pulling out this long receipt. Yes, I was able to stay in my budget, actually below it. So this total grocery haul for today was $127.08. And we kept it below that budget. So the budget was a $150, and I was able to keep it below that. I actually wanted to go a little bit less, but obviously it is what it is. Groceries are expensive, and I'm very grateful that we're able to afford to buy. But again, we blew our budget last week when we were just going to the grocery store, picking little by little. So that's one of my biggest tips is number one, always stick to your routine of grocery shopping. If you go every week, go every week. If you go every 2 weeks, go every 2 weeks. If you go once a month, make sure you go on that once a month trip. Because if you're not keeping to that regular schedule, you will go to that grocery store and just pick up little by little things that you need for that day or the week or whatever. And then you ended up spending way more than you would have if you've just done that single grocery haul that you normally do. So that is one thing I'm probably not going to do again, is skip on our grocery shopping, our weekly grocery shopping like I usually do, because it hurt us in the end. And again, so now our grocery budget was a little bit lessened for the month. Another tip is when you are on a strict budget, make sure you just go pick up more whole food. Don't get the junk food that you normally would get. Stick to getting more foods that you can make from scratch, like increase your vegetables or your produce, increase your meat that you'll get, and kind of limit all of that junk that you would normally get, and you probably can get a lot more. So I actually ended up getting a lot more food than I thought I would, especially by not getting a lot of those other junk items that I normally would get. And tip number 3, I always say this, practice self-control when you go to the grocery store. Again, I almost found myself wandering through that aisle that always gets me at Aldi's. I was about to pick up some candles, and I saw a mat that I wanted to get for the front door, but I remembered, no, I did not come here for that. Stick to what I needed. So those are my top 3 tips for when you are shopping, especially when you're on a tighter budget, to practice those. So those are my top 3 tips for when you're shopping on a strict budget. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this type of video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and turn your bell notifications on so you'll know when I post a new video. And I will see you guys on the next grocery haul. Bye.